Good morning. Okay. Let me just make sure everything is working. Have a look at that. Oh god, there's a few dropped frames on my stream. Okay, it's back up. That's fine. Okay, I hope that works. Hope that's no problems. Okay, let me just share this link and then we'll start. One second. Good morning, Sebastian. Morning, P. P or B? Change your name every time. Give me one moment. I just need to share this link on Twitter. Okay. Okay, I posted my link. I'm ready to go. Perfect. Okay. Great. We're ready. I'm ready. How's it going? How's everyone today? I hope everyone's well. I got my tea. All right. Should we go to Bitcoin or TRVL? That's the question. Let's go to Bitcoin, I guess. Let's try and understand what's happening with Bitcoin quickly. Okay. So yesterday I was interested in reclaiming this value area low. I started with really the smallest long possible, just to see, just a tester, which I got stopped out. It went back down, and then I saw this. I saw the price action with the volume. As soon as I saw increasing volume, going down and then back up, I took a long. Okay, it was a bit of a gut feel, but I had an invalidation. The most important thing when you take trades is knowing when you're wrong. So Obviously it wasn't planned. I was planning for lower. Where was I planning for? I was planning for lower there, but that doesn't matter because I had this idea that if we got back above the value area low, that it would go up. And we had 2 attempts. I only tried the first long and I started small because I wasn't sure, and actually it didn't accept. The second time I didn't try, and then when I saw this kind of rejection at the lows here, I saw the increase in volume, and it was a bit of a gut feel, and I took a long. Also, it was looking a bit like a inverse head and shoulders. It's not easy to see, but there is there is some kind of inverse head and shoulders going on here. Probably this is the best one, see? And then also when I saw that this came down, this 1 hour candle came down, see this wick here? That's a buying tail. Okay, that means people are buying. These tails are really important. When you see these tails, it gives you a bit of a clue as to what's happening. And if you see what's happening here on the 1 hour time frame, you see the price goes all the way down, it gets bought all the way back up, and the 1 hour time frame closes back above this previous wick. So on a local time frame, when you're analyzing the price, it looks like a swing failure. Okay, and it's not a swing failure of this lower price here. What it actually is a swing failure of these lows here. So actually, if you look, this low, that was a swing failure of this low. As soon as I saw that, I took it long, and the invalidation is very easy because this is your invalidation here, the low that's been put in. Okay, so as soon as I saw that, I took a long, risked 1% in this little bit here, and it was, you know, that's what trading is. You just risk versus reward, and then the price just shot up. You could see the increase in volume. As soon as it got back into the range, the value area low, you see here, as soon as it got back into the value area low, that was also an opportunity to long. I actually added as well. So I wasn't looking to take profit, I was looking to add. So I added there, and as you can see, the price just shot up. That was my original trade idea. Reclaim the value area low, that's a sign of strength. Head to the point of control, okay? And my take profits for yesterday was this pivot high, and then also the point of control somewhere here. And I took my profit. I took 1% in my trade up to this point, and I took another 1% here. That was like 2%, and I'm still in a runner trade, the final runner. I haven't shorted. I know David shorted. I didn't short because I didn't have a planned short, but there was an acceptable short here. If you see these highs here, you can see that the price created a swing failure pattern on these highs here. See that? And that was your short entry as well. So I didn't take that. I like planned trades. I wasn't planned, and I wasn't really prepared. If you're not prepared for a trade, don't just take it. You've got to be prepared. I was prepared for a long down here. I wasn't really looking to short above the point of control. Okay, once the price got above the point of control, I wasn't really looking to short that. But obviously the price is rejected from this high, these wicks up there, and it's almost come into the high volume node that I had marked out. So there was a short to be had, and that's that. That's the price action so far on Bitcoin. So let me just pull this volume range pull now. I know you shorted, David. You told me you were shorting the swing failure yesterday. Do you remember? All right. What's changed? Well, look, can you see what's changed? I've just pulled the range pool now, a new updated range pool, and you can see some changes. And what we have to do now is update our volume area. That's the previous range, value area low. This is the value area low. So you can see the value area low is actually moved down to there. The point of control is still in the same position. Okay. The high volume node is still in the same position. And the value area high has moved down now. Okay. To there. So now we have a new value area. And what I've actually done is I've changed my value area volume to 68. It was a default 70 before. Okay. And I've changed it to 68. There is a reason for that. I won't go into too much detail as to the reason, but I know that there's a lot of traders who use 68 and not 70 because they like to front run the levels. They want to make sure that they're ahead of the game, and so they use 68 instead of 70. So I noticed that 68 was more effective, potentially more effective. So I've changed it to, I used to use 68. Then I moved it to 70, and now I've put it back to 68. But the default setting is 70. Okay, so let's just go with 68. And actually this could be 170. It'll make it less laggy for people because the bars, they draw much less dense. I like it a little bit more dense. So that's all. It just gives you more accurate, specific volume data per level. So let me just actually save that. Okay, so this is where we are now. This is our volume range. We have our higher local range up there. Obviously that hasn't changed because that's a previous range. And then we have our previous range from before. That's from way before. You see these two lines that extend to the left. Okay, so what else is there to see? Okay, let me just hide all of that now. Delete this volume pool again. And we have that previous range. That's from there. Okay, that can hide. We can hide that now as well. So first and foremost, let's have a look at the candles. So that's a pretty strong reversal. Yeah, we closed higher than the previous day open. We didn't close above the previous day high. And it's a very strong candle. Now, the thing that you don't want to see about today's candle is you don't want to see the price drop lower than 50% of this body, I don't think. And it may not happen in just one candle. We may end up with a red candle. Tomorrow may be another red candle. I just don't think that it would look good if the price now starts going back down like that. Okay, and you've got to be prepared for that because that could always happen, and it wouldn't look incorrect. It's almost like a bull trap. So you've got to be careful about that. The good thing about yesterday's candle was they had good volume on the candle, and this red candle was strong volume into the lows and strong volume back out. Yeah, so a lot of people who were short were squeezed back up and the longs were coming in. That was really important. So that's quite a strong sign. I'll show you on XO. And the other thing to note is we're back above this daily level, and we're back above, at the moment we're back above this pivot here. I'll have to zoom in. It's not a bad candle, is it? It's a bullish candle. It's a buying candle. When you look at the lower time frames, if you're looking at the 12-hour time frame, this is a really nice reversal pattern. You've got an inverse hammer into the lows. You've got a reversal with a swing failure of the previous candle low. It goes all the way back down to this 12-hour level, and then the price just expands up with increasing volume. It's a quite strong reversal pattern. And actually what you don't really want to do is you don't want to go down back there. I don't think that would be good. Potentially we could go like this, and that would look quite good. That would be another, potentially another inverse head and shoulders idea if that was to happen. We just have to now see how this is going to play out. Could we get a push up? Potentially. If we go down, we could go up, or we could just go sideways, which would be preferable, I think. Zooming into the lower time frames. So that's an interesting development. You can see that we've had a little bit of a trend line break here. See that? We just match up the lines correctly. So when you have these trend line breaks, they're really nice for bullish continuation. You just don't want to go back underneath them. We just don't want to fall back underneath that trend line now. That would be weakness for that to happen. So I don't want to see that. It's what I don't want to see. So if we do kind of fall back, we just want to just stay on top of it. Yeah, but we don't want to fall back underneath it. I think that would be an early indication of weakness if we start falling back underneath this trend line. Okay, now let me put the volume. Gosh, don't lag. Make a little bit of a lag. Is that what the one? What's up there? My data. Shit. Right. Okay, there you go. No, nothing's working. I might have to restart my router. What the hell? Welcome to the UK, where the internet is pants. What the hell? God, this is sucks. It's not working now. Oh, there you go. It's back. Stupid. Apologies. Some technical issues. Let me have a tea. Maybe I need tea. Perfect. That's what I need. Okay, so what we're experiencing is continuation of the range, effectively. That's why I think you could consider this as normal behavior for price. We lose the range, we come back into the range, and the volume range adjusts based on the volume that's coming into the range. That's effectively what we have here now. We have a range bound price action. You can clearly see the range. The range is going all the way down to this value area low, all the way up to this value area high. Okay. and anything outside of the range is deviation or continuation. The other thing you have to bear in mind is that we're following this Elliott wave count. So if I pull that up just to show you, step to 1. Okay, so the way Elliott waves work are bullish impulsive waves are 5 waves, and the corrective waves are 3 waves, i.e. ABC. Okay, so you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in the 2 and then the 4 you'll have an ABC. So I can show you here in this previous correction that we had. Once you put in your pivot, you have an A, then you have a B, and then you have a C. Okay, and that's actually what we're expecting now, unless we see something else. Okay, and something else could be something else, and I'll explain. But at the moment we're expecting an ABC. Now the ABC can be pretty much anything. There's like many variations of Elliott wave corrections, and I'll show you. I'll just Google it now. Corrective patterns. If you just have a look, I'm just see, that's the basic pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's lots of variations. Okay, and so effectively what we're looking for is something like an ABC. Does it have any more information? No, rubbish. Okay, hold on here. Let's have a look at this one. No, this is useless site. Let me go to another one. What's this one? I don't want this. Maybe images. Obviously I haven't memorized all of them. I just know the basic ones. Oh my god. 6. I think there's like 14 corrective patterns actually, and you can memorize them if you want. Let's have a look at this one. This is 6 corrective patterns. Oh my god. Yeah, copy image, I'll put it in. There's more than 6. This is just 6. So this doesn't even have this one because this is an extended flat, and you see here it's a flat. This is an extended flat, so it's the same as this one here, but it's extended. So you see it kind of goes down, up, then it pushes this pushes higher, so it's extended, and it kind of does your 5 wave downs, and then it goes up. Okay, so it's good to have an idea about Elliott waves. And so you see that even though there's an ABC, you've also got A, B, C, D, E. You've got this horizontal triangle idea. Then you've got this one here, which is ABC, ABC, ABC. Okay. No, this is ABC, X, ABC, and this is ABC, ABC, ABC. Okay, so you have different ideas of corrective patterns: zigzag, flat, irregular, horizontal triangle, double three. Then you have variations of that. So you have extended flat, so it's more extended, and that's what that one is. That's the one we had here. And so when you're comparing it to where we are now, let me zoom in a little bit. If you're thinking about what we're experiencing now, could it be a zigzag? Yeah, it could be. Looks very zigzaggy. And we could be in the 1, 2, 3 up for another zigzag. It's possible based on this, or it could be a flat Could it be a flat? Like that. Something like that. Could be a flat. Be one of these. Or irregular. Could just be some kind of weird correction, but it's still following the same idea, which is A. So I think we've put in the A now. And now we're in the B. So we have to be prepared for an A, B, C. That's the idea of what we're expecting. Maybe we take the highs, maybe we go further, and then we're looking to go all the way back down again. Okay, we're not looking for this to continue. We're looking for this to correct, because we are clearly correcting. We're not, it's not continuation. Okay, this is not continuation. So that's just preparing us for what's next. So I think we're looking for long still, based on that idea. Let me just hide that. I'm going to go straight to TRVL Vicent. Okay, let me just finish this, because this gives us context, and I think context is really important. So we're above this trend line, and maybe we just kind of pull back to go back up. I think what I'm seeing is that we're not above the point of control yet. It's not holding us support, and now it's kind of holding us resistance. Let's do that, and also let's do this. I think maybe coming back into here, finding support on this. So you've basically got two areas. You've got either there or be lower, and maybe it will go lower, but then it won't look great, because then you're losing this pivot, and that's not going to look strong. But I think that's our area of interest potentially for continuation. And considering that we're experiencing a little bit of a pullback now, it would make sense to fall back down a little bit further to try and get back up. Okay, and so it's really good when you put these, when the price puts in these like little pivots like this, because you can easily swing failure to go up. That would be an easy entry, assuming that it went up, because then you could always get a situation where, you know, it goes back up, finds the resistance, and it still continues. Okay, but I think we're looking for an entry, and the entry would be that pivot that's been put in there on the 1 hour time frame, probably, and possibly going back up to the value area high, and then seeing what happens. Yeah, taking out all of this liquidity above these get those. You've got a lot of liquidity stored above all of these highs, and actually what you'll be looking to do is you'll be looking to long, take it all the way up to short. That's what we're looking to do. Actually, when the higher we go, the more we'd be looking to short, but we wouldn't necessarily be looking to short suddenly, because maybe the price will kind of fail as well, or it could even go much higher. Just have to see. I don't know, because look, because you have this higher local range, value area low, and this value area high. They're kind of together. And there's a swing, there's an SP there. And there's a little bit of resistance here, starting there. It's probably your area of interest there. And you've got a pivot there, which would be a really nice swing failure. And if we do that again, it's above the golden pocket, so it would look really bullish. People would be thinking, let's go to the moon again. Moon, 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 moon. And then down. And do we get as far as this point of control, this naked weekly point of control, which is a high volume node? Get all the way up there and then reject. And I think maybe we'd want to catch it here. Maybe lower down. I think that's probably going to be an interesting area to look at when the price gets there. And then possibly it's going to be this pivot here for a swing failure off that pivot. And that's slightly higher. There's a higher volume node, which would be better. But maybe there's a couple of pivots here that it could fail. What am I looking for? I was looking for something, can't find it. All right, so maybe a 1-to-1, but a 1-to-1 will put us much higher from down here, depending on where the 2 came. If it comes all the way back down to the value area low, that would be much lower. Then your 1-to-1 is going much higher. This, if it comes back here, a 1-to-1 will take us to the all-time high. You almost, I mean, for alts, we almost want that, but there's a lot of work to do, because as you can see, there's a lot of liquidity levels in the way. And also, once you get back up, if you do get back above this higher range, local range value area high, if we do get back up that, people are going to get really bullish and start longing again. Get people going to be longing for the top. Okay. So actually, the best short is going to be the top again, really, all the way back up the top. But there are like in areas of interest lower down. You still have to go for the golden pocket. And then where is that previous all-time high? There. So I think that's on the golden pocket. You see that? The previous all-time high. So the price could easily reject just there as well. So you've potentially got a short there, but then you're also above the all-time this high volume node. If we reject off the previous all-time high. But the thing is, if you get back above it, then people are going to start longing for continuation. Good morning, War. I mean, if we are creating a little bit of another inverse head and shoulders here, with a neckline like that and squeeze all the way up and then fail and to go back down. I don't see that we're going to go up in a straight line though, right? So we have to see how this plays out. That was quite an impulsive push up, but do we continue that idea of impulsing up? I think the reason why we impulsed up is because there wasn't really much resistance on the way up, yeah. But whereas now, to get back up to the all-time high, there's going to be a lot of resistance in the way. And then are there any we haven't even touched this daily level here, and that's a high volume node. So you potentially could just short that if you get a rejection. Maybe not today, but like if we form a red candle today and then we go up, you could just reject without even making higher ground. So there's two, I think there's two short ideas higher up. And you could probably start into that naked weekly pot. You have a swing failure pivot there if the price goes up. The swing failure is down. It's quite higher. Don't know. Probably that. So you either short and have a wide invalidation and wait for it to come back down, or you just short the all-time high with a much smaller invalidation, because it'll be easy to do that because it'll basically be a swing failure, and it's the same idea. So once you get above, and the thing is you still have to get through the golden pocket, but that's just assuming, the assumption is we do get above the golden pocket. Once you get to this 786, you could have a swing failure right there. It could just be like that. So there's a lot of areas where the price could reverse in this higher range, and I think probably the best idea would be to have a really wide invalidation, start small, and then see where the price finds resistance and stops pushing up. It starts getting absorbed, potentially looking for some bearish divergences, and if that fails, you get stopped out, but then it'll be easy to short then, because you'll just have to lose that all-time high. This one's going to be much harder, because it's hard to know exactly where the price is going to stop. Okay, and it could stop anywhere. It could stop at the 786, it could stop a little bit higher, or it could even just reject. If it goes down, come up, you could just reject at the golden pocket, and it could just be a failed inverse head and shoulders, and you have a much deeper correction. That would be it. So that would be your A, B, and then you're going much further down. Okay, then you're going much further down there, all the way down there. So we got to be aware of what could happen and where the price could reverse. For sure, the price could easily reverse at this golden pocket. There's no reason why it can't. There's no reason why the price has to go all the way up to that top area. And so probably the first area of interest will be the golden pocket. So even though I'd like to short higher up, you have some nice liquidity here at the golden pocket, just above the high volume node. And if we are now going to go above these pivots, squeeze up, and then just fall back under the golden pocket, underneath this high volume node, that will probably be the best short. The first short, rather. There's a few areas of interest. Okay, but the higher it goes, the harder it's going to be to go up. And so it all depends on the strength. And if there isn't enough strength, it just will stop. Yeah. And so there's a few areas of interest. It's not going to be easy. And you almost want the correction, this B wave of the correction, to be over and to see how far it gets. I think the most bullish scenario for the altcoins is going to be making a new all-time high for a little bit, like another failed auction. That would be quite bullish. This is the most bullish situation, getting up there. Obviously then you lose it and then the altcoins dump again. Okay, I think at where the altcoins are now, we're at support on most of our altcoins. So we don't really want Bitcoin to go down now, because that's going to cause problems for all the altcoins, because a lot of the altcoins are going to lose major support levels if Bitcoin starts to go down now. And yesterday's snap up was very timely, because it happened with all the altcoins coming into major support levels. But we're still in a corrective move, and what we really need now is for Bitcoin to show a bit of strength, so the altcoins can kind of get out of their support zones, just in preparation for Bitcoin to pull back again. Okay, so ideally what you want, and I think this is the best case scenario, is a really kind of boring, kind of slow rise. It's really boring now. Let's just kind of slowly rise up. That'd be really nice. And the good thing about going up like that is that it'll be harder for it to just, it wouldn't do that then. Yeah. The only way that that could happen is from this low here, this rise here. You see that fast rise? We start coming down, it could drop quite fast. And there's something to bear in mind. So actually we do really want, maybe the long would be this SFP here. Swing failure that level. Okay, so I think I have an idea. Get rid of all these lines now. That would be an easy long. Easy longs. And we have to see what happens. Like at any point in time, any one of these highs could be swing failured. Okay, and basing it on fibs, the first area of interest. Got a swing failure there. Have to wait for the swing failure. That'll be, and then higher up, probably the next one is the next one, the next pivot, and then the next pivot. And potentially just go for the pivots. These, every single one actually. Potentially try 3 shorts. See which one works. And then the all-time high. I think that's the strongest area of resistance in that box that I've drawn. If it gets up there. But you know, the price could just reject off the first area. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for Bitcoin. I'm not thinking that this is going to now go to the moon. I am thinking that somewhere as we start going up, there's going to be opportunities to short. We just have to see where the price finally exhausts, right? That's my Bitcoin update. I think we're in a ABC correction, and I think we've completed the A. So hopefully this is going to be the B. All right, I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break and then back to do TRVL analysis. Okay, everyone can take a small break. Okay, guys, I'm back. So, any questions about Bitcoin? Anyone else have any ideas? All right, TRVL. What's going on with TRVL? Right. So, oh shit. So let me tell you. So I'm hoping that everyone watched my stream yesterday, even though it was bloody long. Apologies for that. It's hard to analyze in a short space of time when you're going into depth, because you also have to think, and like I'm trying to do a good job for everyone. this was my chart from yesterday, which I was drawing. Okay, and I gave my reasons as to why I thought the price needed to hold this level of support, and where this was a good place to buy. Okay, and I don't know if people are listening to me, and I almost don't think they're not, because I said the best way to buy would be to put limit orders. And do you see these wicks? These wicks, that's people market buying large quantities of TRVL. And ideally what would have been better is just to suck up the selling pressure, suck it up. And if people want to market, they shouldn't market 100 or 200,000 in one go. That's not smart. It's always better to market small amounts over an extended period of time, averaging in. Yeah, this is not amazing, but it can be good. It depends, and it all depends on if we go up or down. Yeah, if we're going down, this is not good. But if we're going up, it's great, because you've cleared the liquidity all the way up to the top of that wick. Okay, and so it has pros and cons, these wicks on top of candles. It just depends on the direction of travel for the price. Okay, when it comes to our support level, I can show you on all the exchanges that we had a really strong volume yesterday and also today. So this is on Bybit, and in the last 12-hour candle, if I show you the volume, we had 3.6 million TRVL in the last 12-hour candle. That's a lot for Bybit. That's a lot when you're considering. So before I drew this volume range, it was like here. Okay, so let me just pull it back a bit so you can see where it was. We'd obviously left the value area, and now when you update it, you can clearly see that the value area has adjusted and the point of control has adjusted too. It's come back into this support level. Okay, so that's, for all intents purposes, that's a bullish change in the volume area at these prices. That's kind of what you want to see. You want to see the value area move down. You want to see the point of control move down. It means there's a lot of volume being put in at this level. Okay, and when you're looking at the descent on the price, you can see it was pretty low volume from the highs: 200, 72, 121, 171, 131. This is the buying, and then selling again: 135, 143, 232, and then suddenly an increase right at the lows. You suddenly have an increase in volume. Okay, it's quite unbelievable actually, because all of a sudden people are selling at the lows of this range. Yeah, this is just a range. We're just in a range. We're always ranging, and this is the range. Okay, and we're at the lows. We're at the lows of the range now, and people are selling. People are selling the lows. It's very normal behavior when people don't understand what's going on. They don't understand that you should buy support and not sell support, and all of a sudden you see people are selling. People are buying too, but you have to understand what's going on here. People are buying, but to buy, if no one was selling, then the price would have come all the way back up by now, because there's a lot of volume being put in here by people buying. So they're buying other people's sales. That's what's happening right now. It's bullish, yeah, because you're getting increasing volume at the lows, but only if the support level holds. It's only bullish if the support level holds. The support level doesn't hold. It just shows that there wasn't enough buying interest at this major higher time frame support level to hold the price from going lower. That's what it means. That's the real meaning behind whether this support level holds or not. It's about buyers and sellers, and whether there's enough buyers to support this level, or whether the sellers overpower the buyers at this level. And I did say yesterday, maybe I shouldn't have said it, but if someone wanted to exit this project, this was the opportunity, because this is where the liquidity is. Yeah, this is where the buy liquidity is, at a support level, at a major support level, and it's where people can sell and fill their bags at this price. If for a lot of people that might be good price, I don't know, but if someone has been accumulating much lower down, they might be looking at this descent, and they might not be content, and they might already be up still 100% increase in value, and they might be content, and they might go, well, look, let me just take all my profit now. And what I'm seeing in this sell-off, yeah, is panic, but also I'm seeing people look to exit and buy other altcoins. And I think that's what's going on right now. I think a lot of people are looking at a lot of coins and they've all pulled back. So when you look at my lists, well, you can't see it now, but there's a lot of coins which have pulled back. And so now people are thinking to themselves, well, I'm in profit here. On another coin, maybe I can go up 2 or 3x, whereas here, just to get back up to our major resistance level from our current price, we're only looking at about potentially a 1x, an 80% increase in value. And so we're back into resistance again. Whereas they might be looking at other coins and going, oh, that coin is in price discovery, it's whatever. And logically, they're thinking to themselves, well, I could increase my value much quicker being in another coin. And so that's the kind of psychological behavior that's being seen, that I can see in the way the price is moving. And for all intents purposes, when you look at the way the price has descended, yeah, this is a sell-off. Yeah, it's a correction, but it's a sell-off. Yeah. Now, most of the volume, the good thing about this sell-off is that a lot of the volume is coming in at our support level. Okay, now I think that's quite bullish. If we hold, we have to hold. Now, you can't tell by looking at the 1 hour time frame whether this support level holds or not. You can't tell, because you'll lose it, you'll reclaim it, you'll lose it, you'll reclaim it. You know, there's something going on here. You can see the increase in volume and the price is holding. Okay, so clearly there's enough buy interest at this level to hold the price. We just have to continue buying to hold the price, continue absorbing the sells until everyone who is finally is willing to sell, sells. Just exhaust the sellers. So you'll end up with people who are no longer looking to sell at these levels or lower. Yeah, and this becomes effectively, if we hold this level, this becomes our lowest point of support. And I'm always thinking about the higher time frames. So in my kind of contemplation of the way the price is moving, I'm looking at daily, 3 daily, weekly, and that's really where I'm looking for a hold on the higher time frame. I'm not too fussed about whether it holds on the 5-minute time frame or the 15-minute time frame. I'm looking at the higher time frames, and so you can't really tell right now because the weekly candle hasn't closed. Look at that volume. Yeah, and we had similar volume here, that sell-off. And the good thing about this is that it basically structure held it, and then when we lost it, it just was brought back up. the price continued. Okay, and so I really think it will be more bullish if we can hold above this level on the weekly time frame and start ranging in this upper range until we can start attacking that 9 cents mark again. This is Bybit, isn't it? Okay. When you look at when I'm looking at the other exchanges, I like to look at all the exchanges to see what's going on. This is KuCoin. Again, if I go back to the 12-hour time frame and look at the volume again, see another 3.8 million, 2.8 million. But for all intents purposes, no, this decline was a low volume decline. There was a massive buy at the high, 2.29 million. Okay, and this buying was quite good, and the selling is quite weak. And all of a sudden, you're getting people selling. All of a sudden now, you're getting people selling. There's a lot of buying and selling going on here, and it's really down to who wins at the end of the day. Do the buyers win or do the sellers win? I think for all of us, it's in our interest that the buyers win, because if the buyers win here and the sellers are exhausted, the price is just going to go back up. Okay, it will just do it on its own once the selling is gone. Okay, and obviously you want to see increasing volume in the increase in price. At the moment, the buyers aren't winning this local battle because we're putting in volume and the price is still kind of at the lower part of previous candles. Okay, at the moment it looks like the buyers aren't winning. There is buying going on, but you see these tails, these are also selling tails. You have to bear that in mind. So there are some people right now selling. Don't know who it is. There's a lot of selling going on right now. There's a lot of buying going on right now. Okay, and I think the best strategy would be for people to put limit orders or just market by small amounts, because what's happening is the price suddenly goes up and then someone just market sells into that. Whoever that is, someone is doing that. And so obviously if someone market buys, like yesterday you can see on KuCoin, there was a market buy, and in that candle, 4-hour candle, it was 2.2 million. It was 2 million. So someone bought that amount of volume in one candle in 4 hours, and as it got to 6.8 cents, someone just market sold into that. Okay, and why did they market sell into that? Well, because whoever bought pushed the price up 26%. Yeah, that's why. That's the why. So for someone, that's a good price. If you're looking to sell and the price comes all the way back up by that much in increase in value, that's a good price. And so it'll be a lot better to just absorb the sellers here, and then once they're exhausted, finally when the price starts to move up, then I think people will be less inclined to sell. Okay, I think the only reason people are looking to sell now is because they're looking at this whole move downwards, and they're not liking it. They don't like the price action, and I guess you could argue that I don't like it either. Okay, I don't like it because we put in lots of like support levels, and it was very, the price moved through those levels very easily. Okay, so it just shows you that there isn't enough buy interest at these levels. It's only interesting for people when the price is pumping, but when it comes to a correction, there's no interest. So these are, as far as I can see, psychologically these are still unacceptable prices because people aren't willing to put limit orders at these higher levels. Okay, now that we're seeing volume coming in here, you can now see that, okay, people are looking to buy this level. And the problem is this, that if it drops, it's going to look really bad for this token. Okay, and we just I'm just preparing us. I'm not saying it's going to happen. The other thing you have to bear in mind is if we go up, because of the sharp decline in price here and here, we'll just probably do this. We'll go up really fast as well. Yeah, in the same manner that we came down quickly, we'll go up very quickly. And if we have enough strength on the way up, then and we clear these levels and they're defended, then you could end up with an inverse head and shoulders right here. It is possible, yeah, because the price action was so fast in the way it declined. If we start going up again, it's going to be really quickly, and then the question is going to be basically at this area of interest where you see these green candles, because if someone is looking to sell, then that will be the place to sell. Yeah, that will be the place to sell. Do they sell all the way down? Maybe not. You know, the price can correct. If that's our A, and then, you know, that's our B, and then it could go down for another C. You know, like there's so many variations of what could happen. I can't predict that. I'm just making this up, really. But the reality is that we're seeing a lot of volume here. So this is a really important level for people to defend if they're looking to defend. If they're bullish, they're looking to defend. And eventually what's going to happen is that either the bulls or the bears will win. Now, the only thing that I don't want to happen is I don't want to lose this pivot here. Okay? I think that would be terrible to lose that pivot. I think it's bad enough coming back into this structure. I think a bullish hold here would be perfectly we would continue the bullish idea, the extremely bullish idea. Coming back down here, it kind of reminds me of what happened here, where we had this kind of 5-day sell-off and the price only managed to close above these lows. So it was a higher low, but it was quite, I don't know if anyone remembers, but when the price came here, it wasn't pleasant for anyone. There was a lot of kind of unpleasantness in the Telegram channels, and people were really depressed. And then the price exhausted, no one else sold, and then someone just came and just bought that right back up. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you know, as long as we don't make a lower low here, and if that was to happen, that could potentially be acceptable. The only problem is, and this is the only problem, Bitcoin is correcting. Okay, whereas before Bitcoin was still pushing up, here we're seeing Bitcoin correct. Okay, and that's having a negative impact on whether people are hodling or selling or whatever. Okay, but I think it would still look okay if we held here and we didn't make a lower low here. I think that would be really okay. If we do, then we've not only have we lost the major support level, but we've also made a lower low, and that's the first indication of a change in market structure, and I don't want to see it. Basically, I don't want to see it happen, and I can't predict whether it's going to happen or not. I don't have a plan to sell if we start going lower. I'm not looking to sell. Yeah, however low we go, I'm not looking to sell. I'll be looking to continue accumulating at lower and hope that we find some lower support levels and snap back out of it. But you know, I'm not looking to push the price up either. That has to happen because of the nature of the market. The market has to do all of that. I'm not looking to move the price either. Yeah, I'm just identifying areas, good areas to pick up the price. Okay, pick up the token. We had a pretty like disastrous kind of move down here as well. You see, down, and then it kind of exhausted, then it started going back up. And that's, I just want to see the price exhaust, the selling exhaust. And so this volume at the moment, unfortunately today the price is kind of at the lows and there's quite good volume. What if there was enough buy volume, the price would be back green, back at the highs of that candle on the daily. And so that's the difference that we're seeing now. We're seeing that the selling is overpowering the buying at these levels. Okay. When I look at gate, you can also, not gate, MEX, you can also see the volume is quite high. Okay. Not as high as the other exchanges. And you can see here that the trend line that I had drawn, how we had a really nice reaction, and the price was brought all the way up to, on MEX, to 7 cents. Then it was sold back down. And I think really it's a massive error in the way people are buying, which is causing this behavior, because they're buying it all the way up to 7 cents. They don't need to buy all at once. They can just buy in little bits and keep the price from being sold like that. Yeah. And so naturally what's happened is the price comes up to 7 cents, and then someone is just market selling their whole position in one go, which is causing this decline. It's just what's happening right now. That's how I'm seeing the charts. Have we lost this trend line? Not yet. But it looks like we're losing it, huh? And that's not, you know, look at this. Another like today someone bought 4 hours ago. Just a market buy. Look at that. All the way up to 6. It's just really, it's causing problems, because if we go down, it will only be good to do that if we now start going up, because then you've cleared the liquidity and you'll go up much faster. But at these levels, which are so critical that we absorb all of the sell orders at these prices, the problem is that if this person has bought up so much token, they have no more buying power, they've used up all their buying power, then what do they do if the price continues? They can't buy anymore. And that's something to consider. So I just think we just have to see what happens. I think we're in a really critical place, and you know, I'm buying as well, but you know, this is the market. It's not one person buying and selling. This is the market. So unless someone has $1 million and they're willing to defend this level, then it's got to be the market that decides what happens. Yeah, unless you have someone who's making the market and they're willing to hold this price at this level and absorb all of the selling at this level until it just completely exhausts. Doesn't matter how long it takes. If you exhaust the selling at this level, even if it takes 2 weeks, eventually the price is just going to go back up. Eventually it will happen, because you're just making a higher low and you're holding a major support level. But it just requires the selling to be completely exhausted. And the problem is that if Bitcoin pulls back again, yeah, then what? Then what happens? That's the real problem. Do people panic and sell? And then we'll be back at we'll probably be back at 3 cents if that happens. Probably. We get a panic sell and we make a lower low here, then yeah, it's not going to look good, huh? It's not going to look good at all. At all. Okay. And then potentially what you're looking to do is make a massive higher time frame inverse and a shoulder. It invalidates those ideas I have of the Adam and Eve, and it will invalidate the Wyckoff accumulation. It will invalidate those two ideas. But if we hold here, then those ideas are still valid. Okay. And kind of when I look at this, I'm thinking to myself, you know, you have some kind of, I don't know how, there's different lines, you see, that's the problem. So when I did it, let me go back to my other chart. You know, you've got these different trend lines. Trend lines are subjective. What really matters are higher lows or higher highs, or lower lows or lower highs, okay? And major horizontal levels. And so you can see we're in a major area of interest. This is a big area. Yesterday we reacted and we closed, we went all the way in, took the liquidity and closed up. Then people have been buying, going all the way up into that green candle, and someone has just sold off that green candle. We're back into the lows again, okay? And so what we need is a hold here, and it could hold. It could be like a green doji day. If we close back higher, that will be a bullish sign. If we see a green candle, I think people are going to start buying again and stop selling, potentially, especially because of the context of where we are. This is also not bad because you're looking at an inverse hammer into support, but then tomorrow it would require massive buying pressure to take the price right back up, okay? So we're in a really critical area. I do have the pivot coming in roughly about now. I think it's going to be here. I think we will hold, but it all depends on how many people are buying and selling. And I almost wish that we could have some kind of bullish announcement now. Yeah, and this is like you really shouldn't have bullish announcements when you're going into resistance. You should really have bullish announcements when you're holding support, you know, because that's what really needs to happen for the price to continue going up. It needs to hold support. You don't need to break resistance to go up if you can't hold the support after you've broken the resistance. Yeah, so here we break the resistance. I don't really care about going up if when we come back down we can't defend and hold that support. I would much prefer, I hate this price action, and I always said that this was healthy price action. We could have just gently gone up, just gently break up, next level, and it would have been fine. Everyone would have been happy, and it would have been, no one would have sold really if this just happened like that, and it would have been fine. But this is harder because you have a nice little breakout, and now you have to defend that line again. You have to. It's really important. Okay. And I think we will, but we don't, no one can predict that. Let's just have a look at something else. And I just want to show you something else. So when you look at the this back test of this trend line that I've got, see that? We're kind of back into it now. It's a really important level. Yeah, it's a really important level. And it's like this. You see how we had a break and it's all the way back to test. Yeah, although this break was much more violent to the downside, this kind of feels the same thing, but in reverse. This is the break, this is the test. So we're at the test now, and yeah, we have to see what happens. Okay, so if anyone is looking to pick this up, we're at a really important level that needs to hold. And if we go lower, we just don't want to make a lower low. We have to snap back up as quickly as possible. And the low that I'm thinking about is this daily low before we broke out, this one here. So I don't want to see this pivot taken out. If we do go down, let's just get back up really quickly and continue. And that will fake everyone out, but maybe someone with a large amount of capital is looking to buy low. I don't know how low, 4 cents, 4.5 cents. But then if it gets too close to 4.5 cents, someone could just panic sell and they could just drop the price, and that will be a lower low. All right, that's my TRVL update. There's nothing really to report except that this is really, we're at a really key level now. Really key level. And I hope that if anyone is listening or watching, that they will see what I'm saying and do what they think they need to do if they're bullish. And if the people are selling, well, I think what you have to understand is that there's a lot of things coming in the very near future. We have the AI Sensei launching, the Dtravel app. We have the market makers potentially changing quite soon. That's going to make a big deal. And, you know, there have been some conversations about possibly other bullish things coming, like exchanges and stuff like that. So all of that is on everyone's radar. They're not like ignoring this price action. I think the team are very attentive and they're very aware that this isn't pleasant, and this kind of price action isn't pleasant, and it's not fun. You know, it's not fun to have a 50% decline on low volume. It's not fun. And for a lot of people, if they wanted to sell, they couldn't sell because the volume to the downside was low. All of a sudden we're into heavy volume because we're finally back at support. So there's a large gap in volume between 9 cents and I did a video on the order book. Above 9 cents there's a lot of volume, and kind of below this area there's a lot of volume. Okay, and we're kind of this whole area is a little bit gappy right now, which is why the price went up so easily and it's come back down so easily. But maybe it will go up easily and maybe it will go down, and maybe we can make higher lows and finally break out. You know, that's what could happen if we hold this support level. Okay, and once we break 9 cents we're going to 17 cents very quickly. Yeah, once we break 9 cents we're going to head to very quickly. We'll head to 17 cents, and if the bullish momentum is there we can carry on. Okay, it all depends on the momentum. And so when I'm looking at the daily time frame, I'm looking at the moving averages. You see, we're just right now today, look, we're under the 50 moving average, unfortunately, just like we were here. So if today exhausts and maybe we get like another green day and then maybe right back up, maybe. All right, that's my TRVL update. I don't really have anything to say except that there's a price discussion channel, and it's an unofficial one. That's where we all talk about the price. It's called, let me put the link in the chat, and feel free to join that. Let's just have conversations about the price. Let's just talk about it. I mean, share ideas. A lot of people have different charts that they're charting as well. I'm not the only one. So I'd like to see other people's charts as well and what they're thinking. And we can share our knowledge. And then we can panic together. Or we can be bullish together. All right. Any questions? Anything? There's no questions, unfortunately. I'm going to have to take another short break, maybe a 5-minute break, and then I'm going to have a look at the rest. Okay, see you in a second. Don't know if anyone's still here. I can't see. Doesn't tell me if anyone's here. It says 2 viewers. I don't know. 1 viewer. Who knows? Something else I noticed about TRVL, I'm going to show you right now. So get my indicators up, and I can see hidden bullish divergence. I'm going to show you the hidden bullish divergence that I'm seeing. Okay. Do you see on the MACD how it's come all the way down here? So what you have right now, from this low here, which is corresponding here, so from this low here to where we are now, we're still in a higher low situation. And you see here on the MACD, it's a lower low. So at the moment, there's quite significant hidden bullish divergence. So this decline in price is bullish because it's overdropped, it's oversold. Right now it's showing overselling, but obviously this bullish divergence is invalidates if the price comes now and makes a lower low here. Okay, that would invalidate the hidden bullish divergence, which is why it's so important that we hold this low. If the price now comes down here, then you're making a lower low and you're no longer showing bullish divergence. The bullish divergence is invalidated. Okay, so it's really important that we defend this low. I can't stress that enough. We were seeing hidden bullish divergence all the way up to this pivot here, see that, and all the way down to this. So there was bullish divergence here to that pivot there, and now the hidden bullish divergence is continuing. This move is not divergent because it's following the same path. So locally it's not divergent, but on a slightly higher time frame, you can see that there is hidden bullish divergences. Okay, and the same thing kind of happened here. When I'm looking back, I'm going to show you the same thing happened here. So this was our pivot, it was here, and you made a lower low here on the MACD, and you actually made a higher low. Okay, and that just snapped, we just snapped out of that because the low held, we made a higher low. Okay, so it's really important that we just hold this pivot, this low here. We have to hold that low. Now if for some reason we do go down here and hold the low, it's still fine. Potentially it's still fine, because it could just snap right back up. Okay, so it will look really bearish because it will look like we've lost major support lines, and potentially it is bearish, but as long as we have a higher low, we're fine. I think we're fine. We just don't want to make a lower low, because then this bullish divergence, this hidden bullish divergence, is not invalidated. If we go down underneath this low here, then we're making a low low on the price and a lower low on the MACD. So it's divergent slightly, but not really. It won't look good. Then we'll be looking for the next move. If that was to happen, you do put in a lower low here. That will be a lower low on a daily time frame. And then if you do go up, you'll be looking to put in a lower high. You won't be looking to go and make a higher high. You'll be looking to make a lower high. And that's probably the next expected behavior if that was to happen. And so I think if people are bullish, holding this area as support is bullish behavior. And we just want to see bullish behavior continue. We want to see that behavior to continue. And that's going to give people confidence to keep on buying. As long as we're making higher lows, people will continue buying. And we have to bear that in mind. If not, if we start putting in lower lows now, then we just have to see where the price comes down to find support, because then potentially you'll be going, that will be the inverse. If we make a lower low here, that is not a V-shaped recovery. It's the opposite. Yeah, it's the opposite. But it only becomes relevant if we make a lower low, which we haven't yet. Okay, so as long as we're not making a lower low, you can remain bullish. Your sentiment is bullish. Does that mean this price is the token is going to zero? No, it doesn't mean. It just means it will be another opportunity for people to buy, basically, at lower prices. Those people who sell will sell, and I think that's really important. So it could be quite, it could get quite violently aggressive to the downside, because I think there's a lot of people here who are still in profit, and people don't like to suddenly lose their profits and go into negative, and they'll probably sell. They won't take profit, but they're not going to. People are usually not willing to take a loss when it comes to the price action. Okay, unless they're long-term hodling. And the other thing I wanted to do is just kind of, I just wanted to update the volume range on all of these charts. I'll do it on the overall range, the overall price range, and you can see right now that on MEX we reacted off the value area high, and now we just have to see what happens. Do we get acceptance back into the value area, or do we just get a rejection? Okay, and so this is really critical for TRVL as to what happens next. We're at a really important area. Yeah, it's really bullish if the value area high of this overall range holds as support. Really bullish, and that's what you would expect for bullish continuation. If it doesn't, then you're back into the volume area, you're back into the value area, and you've lost the major support line. That effectively becomes resistance, and then you'll probably see a sell-off, and probably the next place of interest to pick up this token will be the point of control back at 3.1 cents or thereabouts. And that's going to be another, potentially, if we lose this lower low here, this higher low, if we lose it, then you're potentially looking at another 30% decline in price. Potentially, that's what could happen. The problem is that then there's a lot of work to be done. You have to get back above these flips, above these resistance lines. There's a lot of work to be done then if that was to happen. Okay, so I'm not thinking about it now, but I'm just saying that if we do make a lower low, then actually the next place to buy will be the point of control at about 3.1 cents. Unfortunately, that's the only caveat to that. Is if suddenly some big whale comes and buys the whole lot, like 20 million tokens at market, just whatever. And even if you make a lower low here, if someone was to just do that, push the price up and then make a higher high here, then actually your pivot is here, and that's your low, higher low, and all of these are irrelevant because you've made a new higher high. That's the only way that you can reverse and continue bullish continuation, is if you make a lower low here, you have to make a higher high. You have to. It would be the only way to change this from bearish to bullish. Okay, so there's some things that needs to happen if we do make a low low, but at the moment I'm still thinking that we hold. I don't see why we don't hold. We put in there's a lot of volume that's coming in at this level, so a lot of the sells are diminishing. Like, there's only so much that there's only so many people that are selling, and there's only so much selling that can happen. So really it's down to seeing how strong the buyers are. So let me just do I'll do a volume range pull on all the charts. So you can see on gate, the volume area is a lot wider. The main reason why gate, the volume area is much wider, is because at the beginning of this price launch, there was a lot of volume put higher up. Yeah, and that's why this is slightly wider. If I was to ignore that top data and just have it from here where we come back underneath 9 cents. We went above the volume area and we lost it, and we're kind of heading back down. Have a nice day, Alba. Have a nice day. You too. And then let me just have a look at the other exchanges as well quickly, just to see if there's anything interesting on the volume there. This is similar to gate. Yeah, similar to gate. We kind of got above the value area and we lost it. The good thing about this, getting above and losing it, the next time we get above it, the next time we get above 7 cents, 7 and a bit, then it'll probably hold. Like if we were to just hold support now and head right back up, the next time will probably hold. The next time, the chances of us holding the next time increase. You see, the first time was an immediate rejection. This is a failed auction, and the next time will be acceptance. That's kind of what I'm thinking when it comes to the way the price behaves around multiple attempts at obtaining newer levels or reclaiming higher levels. So let me just do this on Bybit. Let's see what Bybit is like. Again, same thing. Now, the other thing that I've got, which is really interesting, is that if you do a volume pool, just on this top part, you will see the actual, we're still within the value area. Okay, so the top part I'm contemplating is when we exploded up till current price, and you'll see that we're in the volume area and the point of control is only just above us. Once we get above there, above 5.5 cents, then we could potentially find support for continuation potentially. Okay. Let me just do that same thing with all of these actually, because it's good to see where we are in relation to the way the volume has been put into this range. So yeah, so you see on KuCoin, the point of control is right at the top, and now we're starting to put volume in at this level, so potentially this volume area could change, but we've lost it. We've lost the the value area. This is much higher at 6 cents on KuCoin. I'll try Gates. So unfortunately, these different exchanges all have similar levels of volume, and they all behaving slightly differently. And so yeah, so Gate, you see we've lost the value area. We need to get back above it, but you can see here that we are putting in volume here. So hopefully a sign for bullish reversal would be to put in enough volume here for this value area at this local level to change, and for this point of control to change. Okay, that's Gate, and let me just try Max. Okay, so Gate on Mex is, we are still within the local range. So on 2 exchanges, we're still within the volume area of this upper range, and on 2 exchanges, we've lost it. The only way for that to change is to put more volume here. More volume here, more volume here. As long as the price doesn't go down, then what will happen is that the point of control on all of the exchanges will come to the lower part of this volume area. And as long as the value area of all of the exchanges comes to the correct place where we're within the value area, then you're effectively you're at the bottom of the range, and the price can start going back up again. That's pretty much that. You can see we're having a little bit of a sell-off on TRVL against Bitcoin as well. Okay, very extended sell-off, and we're back at the value area low. So that, for all intents and purposes, this whole price action here was a failed auction of the highs. So we kind of trying to get up, and then we just failed. And the reason why we failed, you could say it's Bitcoin, but actually the reason is something else. The reason is that at these higher prices, people were not willing to absorb the selling pressure. They were willing to buy the pump, but they weren't willing to absorb the pullback. And there were people who are looking to absorb the pullback are looking for much lower. So we haven't got to a place yet now in terms of the price where people are willing to absorb the price at much higher. Like, it's a psychological thing. When people get so desperate to accumulate this token that they're willing to put their orders at higher prices. We're not there yet, it's obvious. And let me have a look at this. There was a big sell-off against ETH. Okay, and I wanted it to go up. It didn't do that. That's fine. That's normal. And actually, we're just within this range. The whole range, actually. Nothing's really changed. We're just range bound on ETH. Let me just do the whole thing. See, on ETH, against ETH, we're back into the point of control of this range, back into the value area low. Again, it's the same thing. We have a little bit of a failed auction here, but now we're back into support. So I can see that we're back into support on all of the TRVL charts. And we just have to see what happens. We just have to see if there's going to be more continued interest or not. And I think a large portion of that has to do with Bitcoin as well, and what Bitcoin does. People get a little bit panicky when Bitcoin is kind of doesn't pump. It kind of corrects. But I mean, this is the moment to accumulate. This is the best time to accumulate your altcoins. And then the question is, are people going to be accumulating TRVL because they're bullish, or are they going to be accumulating other coins? Okay, so that's my TRVL. I'll put that in a video and I'll post that later. Oh, look at that, it's going up. Interesting. Oh gosh, that's down a little bit on the day. Slurf. I like Slurf. Gosh, I've been drinking a lot of fluid, and fortunately I'm gonna have to be right back again. Sorry. I don't know if anyone else is here. That's fine. I'm back in another 2 minutes, and then I'll just start looking at altcoins. Sorry. Right, so I was looking at Slurf yesterday, and I had this trade plan, and yeah, look at that. Came back down, swing failured these lows here, and it just went back up. Okay, nothing really to report on Slurf except that we're ranging. And I think everything's got to do with Bitcoin and what Bitcoin does. So it's just kind of it's in a bit of an accumulation pattern right now. Something that's quite interesting about Slurf, I'll show you now. Hi R3A. If I get rid of these range pulls now. So I've got this Elliott wave count on Slurf, and we're in a corrective wave now. So we've had this is our like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're in some kind of correction. And maybe it's an A, B, C, D, E. Maybe it's like this. Maybe there's something going on like this. The good thing about this correction is you can see the volume is decreasing, and the uprise was increasing volume. So that's quite good. to see. I'm happy to see that. Let me have a look on this on my other chart. So this is on radium. Radium is has the most volume. Let me get rid of that now. The value area low is slightly higher. The point of control is still there in the middle of this consolidation range. So the consolidation range begins somewhere here. We're kind of at the lower part of this consolidation range, just underneath the point of control. It does look like we're flagging a little bit. That's what it looks like. Or maybe forming a wedge. I don't know. I think it's in an accumulation range right now, and I think a lot of what's going to happen next depends on Bitcoin. Eventually, it will start going up, I think. But you know, if it goes down, it could also go down. If it was to go down, then I don't know. I find it quite hard to think that it's going to go down suddenly, because you have put in a lot of volume in the whole of this range. You can almost argue that the whole range is a high volume node, the whole thing. And that's what makes me think this is really bullish, because it just looks like people are putting in volume across the board. But if you look on this BitGet, it's not crazy volume on BitGet, to be honest with you. So I think on Radium it would be better, and you can see there's quite a large volume range here. But on BitGet, the value area low is down here at 56 cents. That would be the golden pocket. Can't predict how the price is going to behave, but if we did do that, that would be quite a good entry into the golden pocket, into the value area low here. Maybe take the liquidity from these lows here. Potentially you are... Could it go lower? Yeah, it could go lower. It could definitely go lower. But it doesn't mean it's going to nothing, because I can see the volume is dropping off slowly. And then maybe, I don't know. Maybe it can just be a bit higher. I don't know. Maybe something like that. Wednesday. That could be today. If it was to do that, you'd have to lose this 50% mark, and then you head down to the golden pocket. The golden pocket from this low to this high. I think a lot of people will be looking to pick this up if it went there. It's hard to imagine the price go down when you're still kind of levels to beat. But the fact that we're back underneath this point of control isn't bullish. You want like at some time in the future when the price wants to go up, you're gonna have to get back above this point of control. You're gonna have to flip it into support. That's the only way. And then eventually you're gonna have to flip the value area high into support too. It's the only way to get up is to reclaim levels above. And right now the big level is this point of control. And until that happens, this isn't going up. Yeah. This is something to bear in mind. So we are in a bit of an accumulation range right now. And I mean, it does look a little bit like a falling wedge or a flag. And look, today we had a big at midnight we had a sell-off all the way down to 65 cents, and it just bought back up. There's quite high volume, the selling, and then the buyback was quite high volume too. Right. Probably these lows, just take those lows again. Probably. One more time. Another swing failure. Get back above that and then go up. So you don't even have to catch a falling knife. You could just wait for the price to get back above 66 cents, and then you have an invalidation. What price would I buy Voigt? Yeah, have a look at Voigt.
So I've already indicated that I want this level to hold, this this pivot here, and we're kind of almost there right now. We're almost there. I mean, as far as I can tell, Voigt is holding up really nicely. Look, whereas most of the market has been bleeding and pulling back, Voigt's only down 35% and it's still in the highs of this range above this pivot that was put in. Yeah, so Voigt is looking quite good. We're still within this local volume area, and you know, probably the best price to pick it up now would be, as I've drawn here, probably if you get a swing failure. If you get a swing failure there, that's if you get a swing failure of those lows, it could you could swing failure all of those lows. It doesn't have to be this one, it could be all of them, but maybe that one. You'd have to see which one reacts first. It's about 27 cents. What price is it now? It's at 30 cents. That would be a good place to just enter again. And then your correction, you're looking for, well, potentially a flat correction. Actually, the way I'm looking at the price now, it looks like it's holding, so maybe we'll get something like that. Who knows? Something like that. Maybe something like that. If it holds, it just has to hold that previous pivot here. And it looks like it's holding. So it's a very different situation from something like this and some other tokens, because you've got people buying. Look at the volume. They're selling and it's being bought. Look, they're selling and it's being bought, and the good thing is that it's decreasing volume in a consolidation range above a previous pivot high. Just exactly what you want to see. You want to see that kind of price action. So it's not looking bad at all. Let me have a look at the lower time frames. I mean, the thing is, people are looking at this and they're going, okay, there's a head and shoulders pattern forming. You know, that panics people a little bit. People panic when they see these patterns, but they don't always play out. You know, like, just because you're seeing a little bit of a head and shoulder doesn't really mean it's gonna go down, because you're still above a previous pivot high, and you just have to see how the price is going to react when you take these lows out. The reason why you're waiting for the price to react is because you only want to buy when other people are buying. Okay, you don't want to buy on your own when everyone is selling. Yeah, so you're just trying to follow everyone. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to follow everyone and just be on the right direction of the market. When everyone is selling, you want to be selling. When everyone is buying, you want to be buying, right? The reason why you wait for a swing failure of these lows first, not only is it in the local value area range, it's at the value area low of the local range, okay? Not only is it back testing this previous high, which is a major pivot, so to back test it is fine. But if people who are looking to buy will be looking to put their limit orders underneath these wicks. That's like the best place. Underneath these wicks would be better. But I'm just contemplating the local range right now. We haven't lost the value area low, so I'm not thinking we're going to go down. Okay, especially since we haven't lost this SR flip. You could always get a fake out. It's always possible to go down like that. But effectively what happens is that people are looking to buy the lows of these candles, and that's where they're going to place their orders, or that's where they're going to market buy if the price comes down. And then you have to see what happens. Does the price continue going down? Yeah. Or does the price come back up? If it comes down and it just continues going down and down, then you wouldn't buy, because you're obviously seeing no reaction of these lows. It means there's just not enough liquidity there to hold the price up. Yeah. But if you do see a reaction and the price just comes back above these lows, then that's a good sign that there's enough buy liquidity here to reverse the price and keeping it from falling, and then you can buy. And effectively then you're buying back on support and you have an invalidation. It's that swing failure level. Wherever the swing failure is, then you have an invalidation, because then you're not expecting the price to go back down. That's not what you're expecting. You've already gone below a previous pivot and you're back up. Why would it go down now? Okay. So that would be really good if that happened. You just go down underneath these lows, take the liquidity, come right back up into the value area, back above this support line, maybe back test, and then you're basically back up to the range to go heading for the top of the range. And what you're hoping for is for a flat consolidation, a flat corrective wave here, and getting ready for the next wave. Whenever the next wave is, who knows when it will begin. It'll probably be something to do with Bitcoin. And that's it, really. This is not looking terrible at all. It's looking quite good. It's looking quite good. Then you can attack the all-time high. You know, that will be the next step. Go to the all-time high. From the current price range, it's an 11x almost. So you could potentially 11x for continuation here. And so we're back into support. That's the point. We're back into support. It's quite similar to a lot of coins. A lot of tokens are back into support. Some token, not Slurf. Forget Slurf because that's a new token. But you know, like TRVL that I've been doing, we're back into support, and it's a test now. It's the test to see whether the support holds. Okay. Not all tokens are back in support. Look, ADA went into the value area high, lost the value area high, lost this previous pivot level. It's basically a failed auction of the highs. So something like ADA could potentially go back into the lows here. Potentially. You know, that's potentially what could happen with ADA, just because of what's happened, the rejection from the value area high and losing these previous pivots that have been put in. Okay. Some aren't coming back into support, some aren't. What else is there of interest? Let me have a look. So Quanks is at a really important place too, because you've got this trend line. You almost want it to hold. Yeah, everything. A lot of things have got to do with Bitcoin, to be honest with you. What's that? 25%. Rio. Oh my god. Look at Rio. Oh my god, look at that. Shh. So the charts. Look, it's coming to Rio's coming to resistance now. Another corrective wave, I think. That's the, I've got that as the B. Potentially. Wow. It's a big market buy there. ETH came back, swing failure this low pivot. That's good. ETH is looking good. ETH against BTC is looking good. It's actually looking more bullish than Bitcoin at the moment. ETH. Why is that? Okay, that's, I mean, look, Bitcoin is still looking quite bullish. It's not falling, it's kind of just holding this kind of price range. If it was bearish, you'd be going down by now, and that's what you have to consider. But right now, it's kind of going nowhere. Maybe this is good for the altcoins, to be honest with you. Maybe that's what we need. Have a look at TRVL again. Curious. So look at TRVL. We've got some buying coming in now. That's good. A little bit of buying. It's not bad. TRVL's not bad. It's just, we just have to see what happens. All right. Do you want me to have a look at anything else? Otherwise, I'm probably going to finish my stream. Anyone? I'm having some gut problems today, so if I see anything, I'll post it on Twitter if I see anything interesting. I haven't had a look at the EXO charts either. My computer's lagging a little bit, so I probably need to restart it. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions or whatever, I'm happy to answer. Let's see what happens. You know, we just keep a good eye on it. I like the volume coming in here on TRVL. So as long as the volume holds the price, then the price is just going to go back up. So that's something to bear in mind. You want me to have a look at Gary? You always wanted me to have a look at Gary. Quickly. 16%. Oh yeah, look at that. There you go. Yeah. It looks like it's just consolidating. It doesn't look like this is going to go to the moon right now. It looks like it's just, I probably want to see Gary I do want to see the price of Gary to do this. I want to see that. I think if you see that, that'll be a good sign. Go right into these lower levels and come right back up. And swing failure. I'd like to see a swing failure of this low here, or the one just above it. Okay, and I'm not seeing that yet. I want to see that. Okay, that will give you the confirmation that there's enough buying power at these levels to hold the price. At the moment, you can't tell. It's hard to tell. All right, it's not easy to tell what. I think now you could sell a little bit. All right. Have a good day, guys. See ya.